Good morning and welcome to Chateau Clerbaud. Today's video is going to be about saving and preserving one of the old buildings on the site. This barn is in a very bad state, literally in danger of falling down. From the front garden it looks okay, but around the back it's a totally different story. At some point about half of the roof was replaced. However, this new roof finished above the main oak support beams, so for the last 20 years, all of the rainwater coming off the roof has washed over these beams and rotted them away to the point where they're totally unsafe. They are literally about to fall down, so this is a problem that we now have to fix. The first job will be clearing up inside where it has become extremely overgrown. This will be the easy bit. So today I'm planning on clearing this area here in the old barn, which is very overgrown. Need to stop it getting even more overgrown, becoming a jungle. So I've got my trusty, what I call a beast. It's a wheeled strimmer, great for getting rid of this stuff. Obviously the safety equipment to stop me getting hit in the face, and my anti-hay fever to stop me sneezing all day. So let's get the beast into action here. A wheeled strimmer really is an impressive piece of kit. If you have a large garden, you really need one of these things. You can see why I call it the beast. It just devours everything in its path. The big bits that are growing here. It's just crazy how overgrown these areas can get in such a short period of time if left alone. It really is just like a jungle in here. I was half expecting to find monkeys climbing around on the beams in here. These are nasty little things that have thorns all over them. So we definitely need to get rid of these before they get too big. If left unchecked, these will very quickly grow into full-sized trees. Yes, this is a bit of old roof here. A little roof. Well, at last it looks like we're getting somewhere. We can actually see the back wall of the barn now. That's got to be progress. Everything's just fallen down in here. So we're nearly done, just the ivy to sort out now. Ivy growing on walls will cause a great deal of damage if not stopped. It's actually quite easy to get rid of it. You just need to cut the stem as close to the bottom as possible. The upper part will then die and dry out to a point where it can easily be pulled off the wall. The important thing is to pull up all of the roots. The roots are shallow and can easily be pulled out of the ground. Then you just have to stop any more from growing. There's so much ivy growing up against the walls of these barns. Fortunately, none of it's really established, so it shouldn't be too difficult to get rid of it all. That's that finished, and the next step is to replace these rotten beams that hold up the roof. Today I'm using my newfound skills as a digger driver, digging a trench to put in the foundation for the new concrete brick pillars we're going to build in this barn. We need to build these pillars to replace the old oak pillars that have seriously been damaged by the water. As you can see, this barn roof is in a pretty bad way. Part of it was repaired about 20 years ago, but for some strange reason they decided not to repair the lower section of the roof. Sadly, this is now totally beyond repair. For years, every time it rains, the water has been pouring off the repaired section of roof and onto the oak beams and the supports. They are now in such a bad way that they are close to collapse. Putting in new supports for the 4 main roof beams is a very important job. So let's get on with it. This is the first time I've ever dug a trench with a digger, so this should be interesting. Well, I have to say, I'm actually quite proud about that. Pretty good and totally straight. It's a lovely morning here at the chateau, and we're just waiting for a delivery of cement for the footings in the old barn. So hopefully they're going to be here in about 20 minutes. So the trench is all dug and prepared. We've got plenty of blocks, all stacked up and waiting. Metal to go inside the block columns. So all we need now is some cement to arrive and all systems go. Close one, Mark.
Sorry?
Nice and close.
I should have got my riggers on, but I need to be in the concrete, really, don't I? The shuttering sort of working.
You just have to get barefooted and roll your jeans up. Now, I'm no expert with concrete, but this really doesn't look quite right to me. So we find out there's too much water in the cement mix, so he has to go back, get rid of that and bring us a proper load. So bit of a delay here now, which gives us an excuse to get up on the roof and check the guttering, which was the job for this afternoon. So c'est la vie, as they say. So now it's take 2 on the cement delivery. Hopefully we're now going to have some cement that we can actually use in this lorry. So what are we going to get this time? Doesn't sound as wet, does it? Ah! C'est bon! Right. You want to take that bar off, maybe? Now it looks like we don't quite have enough water, but you can adjust this in the lorry itself, so hopefully we're okay. Well, there's more water in it, doesn't it?
There's more fibre in it.
Gone from one extreme to the other.
Well, it's good to get it done, eh? It's an important thing. I can't wait to start laying block. Make a funny noise. No, like, imagine if that broke. Don't say things like that, Mark.
Here we come.
You have to keep it flowing all the time. Wait, like the stuff here. Yeah, and you have to get in it, I think. Allez, il descend bien là. Ouais.
Be careful, Mark. You don't want to end up with concrete shoes. I got some wellies actually, they wouldn't help though.
No, I thought I had someone to look for them on the back. I'm in it now. Il est mieux que tout à l'heure. Ouais.
The concrete certainly seems to be the right consistency now. Hopefully we've ordered the correct amount, otherwise I've no idea what we're going to do with any excess. I can tell you, this concrete lark is hard work in the hot sun. Even when we're in the shade, it's really making me sweat like a pig. But it's looking good. All done. Mark tells me it's all level. Steels are in to put the columns around, so I'd like to think it's lunchtime now, but actually we've got to go off and buy 3 pallets of bricks, which we then have to handball in here, so lunch will be late again today. Today we're going to start building blocks up the columns. At the moment Mark is just marking out the lines so we get everything straight. Hopefully. and then we start putting block work in. Got about 4.3 metres to go up, so it's going to be a few days' work. It really is a good feeling to be able to start putting these columns up at last. The repair of the roof of this barn has been a project that we've needed to get on with for a long time, so really glad it's finally underway. The downside to all of this, of course, is that it looks like I'm going to be doing quite a lot of labouring today. There is also a plus side, which is I could actually get a bit fitter and lose some weight, which would be a good thing. And no comments about that, please. Thank you. A cement mixer is an essential piece of kit, and that's why we actually have two of them here. We have this electric one for working closer to the chateau, and then we have a larger petrol-powered one which we can take out around the park for when we do repairs to the boundary wall. One thing that I have discovered renovating this chateau is you need more and more kit. We need so much machinery. And it's not a bad thing because we do like our boys' toys. Now come on, Mark, do not mess up these measurements. They need to be right. So now we are getting started. It's going to be a lot of work. There's a lot of blocks here and a lot of cement to be mixed. I guess it's going to take us at least a week to get these columns up, but it's such an important job. I can't wait for it to be finished. For the last 18 months, I've really been worrying about this roof in the barn, thinking that one day I'm going to come in and find some of it has totally collapsed. Now, finally, we can start to secure this roof. Each of these columns has to reach about 4.3 metres up, quite a height. We can only build so many blocks high at one time, otherwise we risk them collapsing under their own weight. The cement dries overnight, and the next day the column is secure enough to build higher. This is why we're working on all the columns at the same time. So now it starts raining, and wow, is it raining a lot. You can really see the problems that this roof has had over the years. All of this water just pouring down onto these beams and joints, just cascading like a waterfall. There's no wonder that they're totally rotten. What do they say? It never rains but it pours. And it's certainly pouring down with rain today. Poor old barn. All these years you've suffered.
starting to go up now, isn't it? So, right, and she's there.
Well, just check out the rock star.
2.5 years old, it's hilarious. Just brilliant. I've done some really good stuff with Toby.
As the columns get higher and higher, it becomes harder to get the mortar up to the working platform. But Mark has a novel approach to this. Quite impressive, actually. Unfortunately, when we fill the inside of the columns up with cement, we have to get it up there in buckets, which means I have to do some labouring again. C'est la vie. So, do you think I'm looking slimmer after all of this work? Come on, be honest. So here we are, nearly finished. The third column is all but complete. Then we just have to cap them off and the beams will once again be fully supported, making the roof safe. Let's now move forward in time a few weeks and see how we dismantled the rotten old roof. It was important to take this down because it was really dangerous. We also needed to take down the old stone wall that the trees had been growing through. Today I'm taking down the old rotten roof on this side of the barn. We need to remove all the rotten chevrons and the purlins. Most of them are really rotten, so they're coming down pretty easy, but I still need to be quite careful because it's quite high and I'm not quite sure how rotten the main beams are. They seem pretty strong from what I can see, but you never know. We're still really thinking about what to do in this area here. It's going to be a wellness area, but we don't know whether to leave this whole area open, enclose it slightly, or enclose it fully. For sure there's going to be a lot of glass so you can see through whatever we do. I think we're probably going to get some input from the architect and play around with a few plans ourselves, and we've got plenty of time to decide because we won't be doing this for at least a couple of years yet. Right, let's crack on. That bit at the end there where I've just been working on is really iffy. The big oak main purlin that supports that sort of end of the roof, that's totally gone. It's not there, it's all rotted away. So I had to support the ladder on what's left of the roof trusses itself. Now I'm going to try and take down this whole bit on this side here, but this is the worst part at the end here. These two middle bits here are actually not so bad, they're pretty safe. Yeah, go for it.
Right. There you go, Bill. That won't go, man. That'll roll off. Yeah, come on, girl, turn.
It's actually got something catching at this end. That's it, got it, that's got it.
That was still up there, I don't know. Can I just go in one way then?
That would snap, you reckon?
I reckon. Hang on, let me get the ladder out of the way, mate. I'll push it that way.
Yeah? Well, the water's going to stop that way.
Hang on, let's get the ladder
Get the
out.
ladder out the way, yeah.
How much still up there? I'm not quite sure. Right, go on then.
It's still moving there.
No, it's going. Oh, good.
There you go.
Let's have a look at it.
Solid.
It ain't bad.
Unbelievable. Now that all of the old beams have come down, it looks a lot better. We just need to pull down the old wall and clear away all the earth, and then we're pretty much there. As you can see, we brought in a little bit of extra labour to help take down the old wall. It was soon done. Well, that really is quite a transformation from how this used to look. All that left to do was one final job. One corner of the roof had actually dropped. We had raised it back up when we put the new supports in, but the tiles needed refixing. This was a job for my friend John. Of course, as soon as we wanted to start working on the roof, the weather got a lot worse. It really wasn't fun working in that weather. John has been a roofer his whole life, so he could cope with it, but I wouldn't have wanted to be up there. But soon enough, the weather broke and the sun came out again. The way that we worked was to remove several tiles all the way up from the bottom to the top, and then realign them and replace them correctly. John did a great job, and soon enough the roof was finished. The whole barn was now safe and stabilised for the future. It will be a couple more years before we develop this barn, but at least we know it's not going to fall down before we do that. I think that you will agree the transformation is pretty impressive. If you have enjoyed watching this video, why not click on the subscribe button that has just appeared? Also, check out our Patreon page in the link below. On there, you will find other ways in which you can help and support us in our project. It really does mean a great deal to us that you are interested in Chateau Clerbaud and preserving its wonderful history. Thank you.